Yeah, that was really fun. That was
Um,
meandered about.
Yeah, hopefully we set ourselves apart from some of the other media that you've done with.
Yeah, well, it's totally different. I love like I love the long form interview. It's a actually talk about stuff rather than doing your best to produce sound bites.
Yes.
Love that.
we're here for the conversation, and so are our listeners. So I know
That's
they'll
great.
enjoy getting to listen to you. And yeah, bariatric retreat. I can send you and Will an email.
Cool.
Stephanie owns, it's called the Bariatric Society. And she puts on these yearly or, every couple years or so events all over the US. So people, bariatric patients, pre-op, post-op, whatever, can just come and learn, listen to speakers, do workshops, workouts, non-scale victories, like all of the bariatric things, just in one central place. So
awesome. Cool.
Yeah,
is that
cool.
Is that like a ticketed event?
Yeah.
it is. Yes.
Yeah, last year they did a cool thing here. We had it in Orlando, and they had a fashion show, so everybody could sign up and do the fashion show. And then you could do different. They had like an evening wear, an active wear, business attire, so like what you would wear to the office. It was just really cool to see people getting to walk the runway and feel positive about their bodies and their experience, because it was in a room of all acceptance. Like being in a room full of mixed people that have had it and haven't had surgery, it's kind of hard. Or being in a room where you're the only one that's had surgery is hard. But this is a place where you just instantly feel accepted by 300 plus people. And, it's a 4-day event where there's just acceptance everywhere. And it makes people really start looking at everything around them. That's kind of the cool thing for us to watch, is that aha moment when people realize like, they're not getting what they deserve in their regular life in some aspect, way, shape, or form. And being around the people that really accept them for who they are and what they're going through is so much different to them, that they now start, like, we have a group that we met at some of these events that we now, it's our Barry fam. And we travel the fucking country for each other at a drop of a hat. Like, we're all meeting up everywhere, every time we can. We're on planes transversing the country. Like, I live in Jacksonville, Florida. April and Natalie live in Washington State, and my ass travels across the country to see them a lot.
Oh, that's so cool. I
Yeah.
love that. Dude, I love that. I've got like, I've got all these like interests, in my life. Like I've got a lot of like sort of weird little hobbies and stuff that I do. And I don't want to like make this whole bariatric journey feel like it's like some weird little hobby, but it's just something that's like it's like one of these interests of mine that are like so central to my life that I don't like, the people around me don't understand. They're like, oh, cool, Chris like lost a ton of weight and he like seems to be doing really well, but like they don't get it.
Yeah,
And so like the fact that you guys are building a community for that is so beautiful, man. And like I go on like Reddit sometimes and go and poke my head into some of the weight loss like communities on there, like the weight loss surgery subreddits and stuff. And like, it's cool. It's cool, but like actual like person to person, it's so important. It's so important.
Yeah, we have one of our experts, Laura Graybo, who is one of our therapists in there. She talks about it. It's just community is treatment. And it's 100% true, because there's a lot of people in our community that wouldn't have the success that they have if it wasn't for community, because they have no other support at home. And that's one of the things I like to tell people is like there's a big difference between sympathy and empathy. You can have sympathy for what I've gone through as a heavy person and the surgery and all the weight that I've lost, but you're not going to understand it fully and be able to embrace all of that. If you've been through what I've been through, you have empathy for me because you've walked in my shoes. And that's a connection that somebody who hasn't walked in your shoes can ever get. Like, it's just, there's a disconnect there. And it's not that they don't want to understand. It's just that they could never fully understand without actually going through it. And that's one of the best things about being around these people in our community that we've met, is the fact that just everybody gets it. Like, we go out to dinner and everybody shares plates, and there's always stuff at the end of the table that we call the bariatric graveyard, because we couldn't finish the food. And so everybody just kind of shuffles the plates to the end, and that's the shit that we couldn't finish. So it's just, there's just things about it that are inherent that you just don't get anywhere else.
That's amazing. I love that. I always say that, like in the work that I do professionally, I think that like so we always talk about like what causes homelessness. And I say that like homelessness is a condition that is caused primarily above and beyond anything else by like a catastrophic loss of community and like a support network, and that's, that's the super highway. Like, there may be all these other little on-ramps, all these other things that happen. But at the end of the day, it's a big catastrophic loss of community. And so I say that building community is the most important first step in solving any problem. And so I call all my people community builders. That's like all of our our monthly giving program is called Community Builders. All my staff wear t-shirts that say Community Builder. I'll send you guys some t-shirts. If you want to get me your address, we'll send you some Community Builder t-shirts.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
And they go all the way up to fucking 6X, baby.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes. That's awesome.
Oh, amazing.
Good
This
stuff.
was so much fun. I loved this conversation. Was just awesome.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep in touch, because I think there's a lot of ways we could we can work together in the future. We're super excited.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, if you guys ever get, I do a lot of consulting work for people who are like trying, if it was ever an interest of yours to go and have like a foundational or a nonprofit arm of what you're doing. Like, I do that work for folks as a lot of consulting work there. I'd be happy to give you guys pointers or tips if that's something you were ever thinking about.
We're actually, there's a lot of things we're thinking about. I'm going to stop the recording real quick.